Hey friends, it's Sherry from Creating Sherry. Today we are going to make a blooming great card with this beautiful set called Pretty Sweet Dies and Pretty Sweet Stamps from Concord and 9th. It's my first time using Concord and 9th products and I loved it. Simple and sweet. Let's go to my studio and see what we can come up with. All right, so I've done a bunch of die cutting for us here. I started with the colored paper, so I did orange on orange, purple on purple, and so forth. And now I want to be able to mix up these colors. So I cut out the centers in one color and coordinated it with one of the other colors. This creates some continuity, but also gives it some variety as well. So what I did next as I started to put these together was get my sentiment in order. Now look at that crazy scrap piece of paper there, but I'm telling you, when you save your scraps, you can find all sorts of uses for them. Now that we've got the die cutting done, I want to go ahead and make my card face. Now, you'll see in a second, I went from green to these florals. It's cute as can be. I coordinated here and wanted some dimension. So in a moment, you'll see that I pop up the kind of the wrap that the flowers were in so that I can tuck them in behind, which helped me as I was arranging the flowers. I wanted some of the different colors next to each other. Same thing with my sentiment. After I get this little embellishment of green leaves in, I do my sentiment. Now, I confess, this is where I went wrong. I used a gold ink that did not stamp nicely with the fine font that I was using, but I decided, you know what, I'm going to keep going and make this something really beautiful because mistakes are art too, you know. So I get this all glued down and I decide that I'm going to come in with my gold jelly roll pen to save the day. I've put this down into a slow speed here so you can see I very methodically and slowly went over the stamp that was there just to crisp it up a little bit. And in a second, I'm going to bring out my white jelly roll pen and do a little bit of embellishment. But what you might not be able to see on camera is I also used the white jelly pen in my sentiment to kind of clear out the center of the letters that had been smudged up a little bit. So here's that white pen. I decide what I want to do. A little bit of thinking goes into this, and then I go ahead and make sure that I've got a few dots, a few stripes, kind of like highlights that would be there for us. But I love the way this is shaping up, and truly it's for a friend of mine that is fun and effervescent and really, really lovely. So I wanted to do something that kind of echoed who she is to me, and flowers that make me smile made me think of who she is as well. So a few more embellishments here. I love turning my card as I'm working on it. I don't think you need to stand back and stay in the same spot. Turning your card helps you get better perspective on the art that you're creating. And then I decide, yes, you know what? I love me some bling. And even though these are clear, I find these little drops, they remind me of, I don't know, a raindrop or some dew. And it just adds such a beautiful little piece. Now, an important word in art I have learned is editing. So you see I didn't put in that fourth dot there. I just kept it to the 3. I think designers are always telling us, 3, 5, 7s, those odd numbers are pleasing to the eye. So I kept it with that. All right. You can see I'm inspecting my work here and I'm okay with it. And now I'm starting to think about packaging it up to send it out. So one of the first things that I really like to do is elevate my envelope. If I'm putting it in the mail, sometimes I don't do this step, but if I'm handing it to the person, making it feel like a really nice stationery is important. And if you remember from my last video, I'm still learning how to get camera angles correctly, so forgive me. I know I traced that off screen and it was a little annoying to me too, but don't worry, I'll get there. We're learning together. So here I'm cutting on the green side, but I'm going to flip it over to that matching floral side. I'm going to adhere that down. Very simple. And like I know a lot of us are over adherers, so I just go mad here and make sure I'm getting thin, thin, thin lines of glue everywhere. I like to open that envelope back up, butt it right up against the seam, and then press that down for a beautiful, beautiful connection. So there are the card and the stationery, but of course you can see the wax heating up next to me. First, I love to sign my cards. I think if you're going to take the time to hand make a card, you should sign it, friends. So that's what I'm doing here. And as I finish up doing that, I want to get it ready to write. And I always like to start out with a dear or dearest or sweetest to the person I'm doing. And then I remember I wanted to date it. If any of you are watching carefully, that says February. So I've been trying to figure out how to edit videos for a little while now. But then I get the card all ready to go. I want my envelope with her name on it, and by now my wax should be nice and hot, right? Well, you'd think. But you'll see in a second, it does actually take me a couple of tries to get the wax seal correct. So let's hold that down. Let's bring in the wax. I love a seal on a hand-delivered card. It makes me feel so, so special. Uh-oh, it's not going well here. But if you let it cool for just a second, you can grab it like I did, start again. I check my nozzle. It seems like I'm okay, good to go. Get those cookie pieces away from me. And now I'm going to go back in and try again. So here I am, and you can see the pressure of my trigger. It just comes through, and then yay, we've got the wax flowing freely because it's nice and hot. So I get the wax on there. No, it's not a circle, it's an amoeba. I put the seal on my little amoeba, pull that off after just a second, and yay, I've got it ready and good to go. Well, that's the video for today, friends. I hope you liked it. Thank you for being here. I love having you with us.